This is the last 2 minutes and the third part of Servants of the Queen by Rudyard Kipling. Last came the screw guns, and Billy the Mule carried himself as though he commanded all the troops, and his harness was oiled and polished till it winked. I gave a cheer all by myself for Billy the Mule, but he never looked right or left. The rain began to fall again, and for a while it was too misty to see what the troops were doing. They had made a big half circle across the plain and were spreading out into a line. That line grew and grew and grew till it was 3/4 of a mile long from wing to wing, one solid wall of men, horses, and guns. Then it came on straight towards the Viceroy and the Amir, and as it got nearer, the ground began to shake, like the deck of a steamer when the engines are going fast. Unless you have been there, you cannot imagine what a frightening effect this steady come-down of troops has on the spectators, even when they know it is only a review. I looked at the Emir. Up till then he had not shown the shadow of a sign of astonishment or anything else, but now his eyes began to get bigger and bigger, and he picked up the reins on his horse's neck and looked behind him. For a minute it seemed as though he were going to draw his sword and slash his way out through the Englishmen and women in the carriages at the back. Then the advance stopped, and the ground stood still, and the whole line saluted, and 30 bands began to play all together. That was the end of the review, and the regiments went off to their camps in the rain, and an infantry band struck up with, "The animals went in 2 by 2, hurrah! The animals went in 2 by 2, the elephant and the battery mule," and they all got into the ark for to get out of the rain. And then I heard an old, grizzled, long-haired Central Asian chief who had come down with the Emir asking questions of a native officer. "Now," said he, "in what manner was this wonderful thing done?" And the officer answered, "An order was given, and they obeyed." "But are the beasts as wise as the men?" said the chief. "They obey, as the men do. Mule, horse, elephant, or bullock, he obeys his driver, the driver his sergeant, the sergeant his lieutenant, the lieutenant his captain, the captain his major, the major his colonel, the colonel his brigadier commanding 3 regiments, and the brigadier the general, who obeys the viceroy, who is the servant of the empress. Thus it is done." "Would it were so in Afghanistan," said the chief, "for there we obey only our own wills." "And for that reason," said the native officer, twirling his mustache, "your Emir, who you do not obey, must come here and take orders from our viceroy." The end.